Am I the asshole for making a woman leave my house? I 30 male was talking with my wife's friend who was there for dinner. She tried to hug my son 7, but he had a bad day and said no thanks. She kept pressuring him and he didn't budge, so she looked at me. I said a kid at school started a fight with him, and he was grumpy, so maybe later. She said come on. You're just gonna let him disobey like that? I said I raised him to build his own boundaries and say no when something violates them. And I would never make him break them for someone else. She laughed and said he's lucky he's not her kid, and that behavior would be fixed fast. I had my son go to his room. Then I told her to get out. I said the reason I got out of bed in the morning was to see my son grow another day older. And I would not stand for him being treated like a pet rather than a person. She called me an asshole and left. My wife is disappointed because she went to yoga with her but says she can't scold me because she'd probably do the same. Am I the asshole? Commenter 1. Usually the people who say things like that are suck-ass parents who barely even know their own kid. Commenter 2. Not the asshole. Teaching kids that their autonomy is important and should be respected is a valuable lesson. Hopefully your wife's friend learns that lesson. Commenter 3. I'm really glad this generation of parents is putting so much importance on autonomy. When I was a kid I always hated having to hug and kiss aunts that were super pushy about it. But I knew I would get in trouble if I told them not to touch me. Commenter 4. Not the asshole. Fucking hell. Let's teach kids that they have to be touched even when they don't want to be touched and have made that clear. Let him disobey like that. WTF. Definitely not the asshole. Commenter 5. As a childhood SA survivor, honestly, she sounds like an abuser. There were multiple people who would want me to touch them, even as a hug, just so they could press their private parts on my face, back, chest, etc. Then they would stand there talking to whatever adult was around at the time and rub themselves on me. It makes my skin crawl to this day. It looked like a hug with a little sideways swing or whatever. Think like an 8th grade dance. It is hard to describe. It was always a warm-up to can he come stay with us and play with the kids, or when we go camping you can stay with my boys. It always seemed innocent to any adult listening, but it never, ever was. This was a long time ago, 40+ years. So there wasn't as much attention on the subject as there is today. But if your child is saying no, please listen to them. Not the asshole.